Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. And today we are joined by the wonderful Martina, and we are talking Elven and Fairy Magic. Martina, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Ipsissima Kate, and thank you for inviting me back on your podcast.
Well, I'm excited because, well, number one, I know you're dialing in from Ireland, but I wanted to ask what everybody wants to know. Are Elven and Fairy real? Is this magic real? Is it real?
Well, magic is a big topic, and yes, it is real. And magic, here's the magical thing. You invited me on your podcast on the day that I was in Ireland to talk about elves and fairies. And I thought, well, that's quite magical. So we started off on a very magical footing. And I suppose I grew up, Ipsissima Kate, in a very magical part of Ireland, where across from my family home was a fairy fort. And then on my mom's property, which we were driving by today, is a fairy fort. And these are actual, so as a child growing up, I absolutely knew that elves and fairies were real because I witnessed and watched and was raised with the awareness of them. So I think I grew up with a great privilege that this was something that was incorporated into my childhood and my young adulthood. And it wasn't until I left the west of Ireland that I discovered that some people don't think they're real, but they are real. They absolutely are real. I then found Modern Mystery School, and I got invited to this very magical class one day. And it was about elves and fairies and magical beings in general. And I discovered that there was ways to communicate and converse with these very, very, very powerful beings who truly want to help us humans and who serve us and want to serve us and enjoy serving us and bless us in our lives.
I mean, I 100% agree. I know that they are real, have always known that they are real. And I too couldn't believe it when I met people that didn't believe. To me, that was a bit more of a shock than, the other way around. So, for me, they play such a huge part in our history, in fact, a lot of cultures around the world. Can you tell us, from the mystery school perspective, if you were to attend something like an Elven and Fairy Magic, what could you expect, or what's the purpose of having these magics?
Okay, so these beings are here. They are available to us should we wish to have that magic in our life. So when you come to Elven Fairy Magic, we share with you how to communicate, how to converse, and how to work in an orderly, everything works in an organized, ordinary, applicable way. And when we know how to do that, it's a bit like, I want to call you. I need your phone number to do that. You want to call me. You need my phone number, or we could be dialing each other forever and not hit the right formation of that number, right? So we're very blessed that we have each other's phone numbers in our phones, and we pick it up and we dial it. And in Elven Fairy Magic, in our lineage, we have the codes, the numbers, the keys, the operational way to say, come into my awareness, come into my energy field. We hand down how to communicate, and we call that rituals. It's a ritualistic process. And we give you invocations and rituals and practices that you can do. And that magic is extremely, extremely powerful because it brings a lot of joy into your life, and it brings a lot of blessings, true blessings. And elves and fairies are very magical, and they they work a lot of behind the scenes magic. So when you ask in that magic, then that blessing comes very quickly to you.
Yes, I was very silly in my path, and you were part of this decision making. Remember, well, you weren't part of it. You witnessed me making this decision, and I didn't attend Elven and Fairy Magic because for some menial reason I decided that I needed to go and teach a yoga class or something crazy, and I missed that opportunity, and that did not come around again for 8 years. 8 years I had to wait, and when I attended the class, I realized that this was one of the most important classes for me personally to attend. Can you tell us why we don't always have these classes regularly, and what reason? Why does that happen?
Well, it's timing. We things are done in the correct order in a timed way, and classes come on the schedule because the area needs it, or the call for the area is for that magic to come into the area. And it's something it's very hard to predict. It's very hard to say, because we're, the logic of our mind is, well, I'll do this now and then I'll do this then. But magic doesn't work that way. It's beyond logic, right? And thank you for sharing that. That's a great example of how the logic of our mind says, I'll do that when it goes this way in my life. But magic comes into our life, and it has to come into our life, and it needs to come into our life. And sometimes then when we have to wait a long time for it, we really, really, really value it. So, there's no one way to do it. But I would say, if you have the opportunity to do anything with the word magic on it, take that opportunity, because it gives you operational keys, and it gives you teachings, tools, and awarenesses that when you need the magic in your life, you have them. And you can never have too much of that, because the world works in a very logical way, and there's always confusion coming in, and magic brings clarity, and it brings the opportunity to expand beyond what is in the physical. And that's what I love most about it. I didn't grasp the concept when I came to the mystery school first of magic. Like, I really didn't understand that word. And I thought, oh, well, what if something magical happens in my life and I can't explain it to my logical friends? But then I learned very quickly that in the mystery school, magic is visible and invisible, and magic is real, and we can never have too much magic.
100% agree. Now, I know we're talking about Elven and Fairy Magic, but we mentioned other magics. Could you just give us a little overview what people might be looking out for in the other magical classes? What other beings can you work?
Right. Well, we have a whole toolbox in our mystery school teaching section. It's like we have libraries, and we have a whole section here that works with all the different magical beings that are available to humans should we wish to bring those frequencies. Each of them have a different frequency. Like the elves bring one ray or one stream of energy. The fairies bring another. The mermaids bring another. So when we want that to come with whatever frequency it is, we can call that in, and then they will bless us. They'll shine their blessings on it. They'll flow that frequency to us so that we can move beyond the impossible. We can make the possible very fun, magical. And the logic says that's impossible, but it's not. It's possible. Everything is possible. Everything is possible.
It's such a blessing to be able to have this in London again, because we haven't had it for quite a few years.
Years.
Yeah. So, and Martina, just to let you know, I know you know, but just to let the viewers and listeners know that it is actually for certified LAPs. So you do have to be in an institute. For what reason are we? Is this not open to the public? Is there?
Well, when we go to Healers Academy, when we become initiate, our structure gets aligned in a way like we have we have our body, and then around that we have an energetic structure. And when we come to empower thyself, it is able to hold 10 times more of that frequency and light. Now, when we go to Healers Academy, it expands out 100 times. And that, as you know, is a whole other conversation. But what Healers Academy does for our being is that it gives us a place to contain, to flow, to align, and to move the energy at a very 100 times more. So it's a fast speed, and it's a large container. And we're building Shambhala in this present time, and the elves and fairies are very involved in that. And because of that, we need to hand down these tools to life activation practitioners so that the building of Shambhala, the world of peace, can be amplified in the right direction. It's a bit like, you know, how you and I often have talks about different types of sports cars. You know, like we both you love your niece and I love my niece, but we wouldn't buy them an Aston Martin to start practicing driving. And Elf and Fairy is a little bit like that. We want to have the structure. We want to know how to move our energetic being in the physical, because these beings, they manifest and they work quick with that. And the magic will come in very quickly. And that is why at this time, now that's not to say that the next time it happens, the prereqs might change, because we're building Shambhala. And in that, we're working, that's where Sovereign Absissimus Dave will make the decision based on the area and what's happening in the flow of light at this time. So at this time, we are inviting those who are life activation practitioners. That's anybody that has gone to Healers Academy, that they are welcome to come and now receive this so that they can start working this light and frequency, so that the elves and fairies can work and serve with us and move the light in that way. And a lot of magic is going to happen. And even when we announced, you know, when you shared with us that you had gotten approval for the class, they were like ready. They're like, we're here, we're ready, come, we're ready to work with you. So they're very active.
Yeah, thank you, Martina. And I'm really excited. So this is in March. And if you are thinking that you might like to come, please have a look at the calendar or contact us on the admin at modernmysteryschooluk.com. Martina Absissimus will be teaching. It's going to be an amazing day. Thank you, Martina, for sharing your insights with us. And yeah, we have another magical day in Ireland tomorrow with the fairies and Elven.
Thank you. Yes, I will. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity not only to be on the podcast, but also to be in this very magical class in March. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Me too. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Martina. Good night, everyone. Take care.